The Acolyte is finally over. Like, for real. It's over!
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
You serious?
In a plot twist about as shocking as finding out water is wet, Disney has decided not to renew it for a second season. It seems even the combined powers of space witches, girl bosses, and questionable plot twists couldn't save this show from the chopping block. I'm Olu James, and today we're diving into a topic that's been creating quite a stir in Star Wars fandom. Now let's take a moment to reflect on the cosmic mess that was the first season of Acolyte. From the get-go, we were promised a bold, different take on the Star Wars universe. A queer story, a feminist reimagining, wait, what was it again? Oh right, something about the Force and space witches and Disney cartoon Frozen.
What?
Frozen in the same sentence with Star Wars is one of the most bizarre ideas I have ever heard of. Well, they delivered on all promises made. We'll start with Leslie Headland, the creator, showrunner, and main director of The Acolyte. Don't forget, she's the PA of former executive and now disgraced man Harvey Weinstein. Headland's vision for the show seemed ridiculous from the jump, and with no serious experience working on a franchise of this magnitude, it's no surprise that her execution was a complete disaster. She was determined to make the gayest Star Wars ever.
Gay!
And to be fair, the show did serve up some serious gay vibes, lesbian space witches, and enough rainbow-colored lightsabers to put a pride parade to shame. There was also a steamy romance between a sexy black girl and an Asian dude, all in the name of diversity. If we're being honest, Star Wars isn't exactly new to diversity. After all, this is the franchise that gave us Lando Calrissian, the coolest, smooth-talking gambler in the galaxy, and Princess Leia, the original girl boss who didn't need a pantsuit to save the rebellion. The problem with The Acolyte wasn't the diversity. It was that the show felt more like a political manifesto wrapped in a lightsaber hilt than a coherent Star Wars story. It all began with the Phantom plot. Remember when Star Wars was about epic battles between good and evil, with complex characters like Luke Skywalker who struggled with the pull between the light and dark sides of the Force? Well, forget all that. The Acolyte decided to throw those ideas out of the airlock in favor of something else. Instead of the classic tale of heroes and villains, we got a story that's apparently about power and who gets to use it.
You underestimate my power!
That's right, folks. The Acolyte is all about the politics of power, which sounds just as thrilling as it is. The Jedi, once the noble guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy, are reimagined here as an oppressive police force terrorizing different planets. And the Force itself? Oh, that's been appropriated by the Jedi, who apparently hijacked it from its original users, known as the Thread. So much for the mystical energy that binds the galaxy together. It's been downgraded to a simple political tool. Is this solely Leslie Headland's fault? No. Let's turn our attention to Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy. Under Kennedy's leadership, the Star Wars franchise has been marred by a lack of creative cohesion, and this show was no exception. The Acolyte was, in fact, the crowning moment of the utterly useless direction in which this universe has been steered. Kennedy's tendency to prioritize contemporary political themes over coherent storytelling was evident throughout the series. The show's frequent changes in direction and haphazardly executed plot lines were clear indicators of a production in disarray, and the inconsistency in storytelling is another direct result of the Lucasfilm heads' failure to provide a cohesive vision for the show or the franchise. The casting was another major letdown. Amandla Stenberg, cast as the lead character, was particularly disappointing. Her portrayal of a dark side apprentice was lackluster and uninspired. Instead of delivering powerful emotional moments, Stenberg's portrayal of Usha constantly fell flat, leaving viewers unable to engage with the character. Carrie-Anne Moss and Jodie Turner-Smith also failed to make an impact. Moss, despite her experience, seemed completely out of her element in The Acolyte. Her role as a high-ranking Sith Lord was intended to be formidable, but ended up being completely forgettable. Turner-Smith's role, meant to be a central antagonist, was poorly developed and one-dimensional. Her character's motivations were never fully explored, resulting in a weak and uninspiring villain. The narrative flaws in The Acolyte were its most glaring issues. The show's promise of dark-side intrigue and political machinations quickly dissolved into a disjointed mess with the weakest plot twists imaginable, like the obligatory evil plot twist that you could see coming from a parsec away, or the whole lesbian witch cult subplot, which somehow managed to be both confusing and completely irrelevant to the main storyline. By the time the season finale rolled around, you were left wondering if you missed an episode or if the writers just gave up and decided to throw random ideas at the wall to see what would stick.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Now, I'm all for a good girl boss moment, but The Acolyte took things to a whole new level. We've got girl bosses left, right, and center, but none of them seem to know what they're actually supposed to be doing. The dialogue is cringy at best and unintentionally hilarious at worst. The characters, cardboard cutouts, would have had more depth. And then there's the Sith Lord plot twist, because what Star Wars series would be complete without one? Unfortunately, this twist was about as shocking as a true fan finding out that Darth Vader is Luke's father in 2024. But hey, at least the Sith Lord in question had some serious style. Too bad their evil plan made about as much sense as the rest of the show. Let's not forget the way the Acolyte completely rewrote Star Wars lore. If you're a die-hard fan who knows the difference between a bantha and a tauntaun, prepare to have your mind blown, and not in a good way. The show manages to contradict so much of what we know about the Star Wars universe that it feels like it's taking place in a parallel galaxy far, far, far away. The Jedi, the heroes of the saga, are now the villains. The Force, the very essence of Star Wars, is suddenly something it's never been before. It's like someone took all the things that made Star Wars special and threw them into a blender with a dash of new age social commentary and a sprinkle of subverting expectations. Unsurprisingly, the cancellation of The Acolyte has sparked a meltdown of epic proportions online. Unsurprisingly, obviously leftist self-proclaimed fans are accusing Disney of racism, sexism, and every other ism under the twin suns of Tatooine. Meanwhile, real fans are celebrating the end of a show that they say was more concerned with pushing an agenda than telling a good story. And the truth is, The Acolyte wasn't cancelled because of some vast right-wing conspiracy. It wasn't because of the hot people of color holding hands. It was cancelled because it wasn't very good. The story was weak, the characters were forgettable, and the whole thing felt like it was trying way too hard to be something it wasn't. So what's the lesson here? Maybe it's that you can't just slap the Star Wars name on something and expect fans to eat it up. Or maybe it's just that in a galaxy far, far away, storytelling should always come first, because at the end of the day, a good story transcends politics, gender, and even the Force. The cancellation of The Acolyte might just be the best thing that could have happened for the Star Wars franchise. It serves as a reminder that you can't just put the Star Wars name on any project and expect it to succeed. A good story should transcend politics and focus on what makes the franchise great. Compelling characters, epic conflict, and a great sense of wonder. So what's the final verdict? The Acolyte missed the mark on almost every front, and its cancellation is a chance for Lucasfilm to reevaluate their approach. Here's hoping that future projects can restore the franchise to its former glory. But even if they don't, at least we'll always have Baby Yoda. Overall, I'll give the first season 1.4 reels out of 5. The Acolyte was a significant disappointment, and its cancellation is the silver lining in an otherwise stormy cloud. The series, with its flawed direction, disjointed production, and underwhelming performances, was a missed opportunity to enrich the Star Wars universe. The decision to pull the plug on this project could be seen as a necessary step for Disney and Lucasfilm to reassess their approach and focus on what truly matters: delivering compelling, cohesive, and respectful storytelling within the Star Wars franchise. This might just be the best outcome for true Star Wars fans. What do you think about The Acolyte and its cancellation? Was it the right decision, or do you think the show deserved another chance? Drop your comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more no-nonsense reviews and discussions on the latest in film and TV. Until next time, I'm Olu James, and may the Force be with you. I'm off to wash the dishes now.